Hi, it's Eric here with Cat Avenue. Today I'm going to be showing you a little bit about offsets in ISO piping. So let's start a new drawing first here. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to make sure that I'm working in the the imperial template and not the metric one here. And let's just close this one out. And let's go ahead and check the anti-snap settings. I have endpoint and nearest turned on. You'll see why I have nearest turned on a little bit later. And then for my DIMSCALE, I'm going to change this to 24. And then if I go into the ISO piping, which is up here, I'll check my scale. My pipe thickness I have thickened up quite a bit, 0.4, and my nodes also pretty bold at 0.05. And I'll click the straight piece and view draw, and I'll put a piece of pipe in at 2 feet, and then I'll go over 2 feet, and then I'll press enter. So you can see it put the elbow in, and then a little center line here, which you can adjust by LT scale, and you can change the spacing of that if you want. Let's draw another piece of pipe in. This is going to be a horizontal offset. So we'll go up into the ISO again, and we'll choose horizontal offset. Here we can put the X and Y in. We'll just choose 8, 8, then tab, turn the hatch on, and then choose draw. So the first point is going to be here, and then any point up here along the direction of flow, and then the turning direction here. And that puts in the 45-degree elbow there. Now we'll just go ahead and continue on. So let's continue on. Let's just draw another couple of straight pieces in here. Let's go back to the main menu. And let's do a rolling offset now. The first point is going to be just the end of this pipe here, and the second point is just going to be down here. Remember, this is just a sketch, and so the points in here are pretty arbitrary because this drawing is not to scale. For the length, which is shown, you can barely see it, light red there, we're going to type in 24 inches. And the green, which is going this way, you can see is the actual offset. So we'll just type in 12, and the length, we'll type in 30 inches. And that puts in the box and then the annotation. Now we can fix this by typing in pick scale, or pick style, sorry, and change this to 0. And then we can move these around however we need. I'm holding down my shift key to kind of position these in. So that's how you do a rolling offset. Now remember to, when you type pick style, to turn it back on again. Let's go ahead and continue our pipe going down, and I'll show you how to do a vertical offset. So load open the piping utility again. We'll choose right, straight piece, and then view draw. Go down, press enter, and then choose the offset button again. And we're going to do a vertical offset here. We'll do 8 and then 8, tab, and then draw. We'll pick the point here, the direction of flow point here, and then the turning direction. So lastly, I just wanted to show you a couple of annotation tips. You can go into the isopiping again, and you can do use the dimension tools in here. But sometimes maybe you just want to use straight AutoCAD or AviCAD commands here, like the aligned dimension might be a way to quickly just dimension things without fiddling too much. Keep that in mind. Now, you can notice that the text styles are not matching here. The reason why that is, if you go up here to annotate and look over here into the dimension style menu, we have standard selected, which is a little bit different than the Mech-Q style here. Well, we can change that if we can click here and we can say modify text, and then we can choose, the Mech-Q style if we wanted to match it to Mech-Q, or vice versa. I mean, you could make the Mech-Q change to the other style. But now when we dimension the that elbow again, we'll just use the dimension aligned, it's called. And now that text matches a little bit more accurately. And you'll notice that the style is also in decimal format. So if you wanted to simplify that, again, you could go back in here, modify primary units, and instead of choosing decimal, we could choose fractional, for example. Being that this dimension's already been drawn, we have to update it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've done this in other videos. Dim, update, and then all. So dimension aligned is a really good command when you're working in ISO. So is just the straight text command, which you're going to need. We could also use the straight text command in CAD. We would need to know the actual height to match what we have here. If we run that pick style command again, and we just select this and look over here, you can see that height is 3 inches. And so that's the height that we're going to be needing when we use the mtext command. So let's type in pick style again before we forget to turn that back on. The reason why you need to turn that on is because without it, the bill of materials does not report properly. So keep that in mind. But if we run a text size command and set this to 3, based on what we found out here, and then run the mtext command again, just type in test note and then click out, and that's a great way just to put notes in your drawing as you need them. As I said, you could do it in the ISO utility as well by using the utility there, but this would be better for just a long series of notes, perhaps over on the side of the drawing. And remember, there's also the leader command, because leaders, you're going to be using those quite a bit as well. The command you'll need to get into is leader style. So this one here. You can see I have an annotation and then a standard. Well, this one I actually just created a new one. And then as you can see, what I did was in the leader structure tab, I turned on annotative here. In my content, I also made sure to select Mech-Q here just to keep my text looking the same. Now if I create a new leader, MLD, I can see that it's still too small. The reason being is when you have annotative scale turned on, this list has to be correct. So you have to select the proper scale. ½ inch equals a foot is the same as 24, DIMSCALE of 24. Have a look at the video below if you're new to DIMSCALE. And also make sure this is toggled on as well. So that way when we do a new leader and put a new leader in, we can see that it's matching the size here, and the text is just slightly big as compared to this. You might have to adjust this up a little bit, but you get the idea as far as how to change that. I didn't want this video to go on too much longer, but I just wanted to show you one additional tip that I think it might come in handy for you. Again, if we do the M lead style and we say modify to that new style, and we change this, instead of the M text being the multi-leader type, we change this to block, and then we change this to circle. That's going to give us a circle tag, which a lot of you might want to use, and then create your own schedules. For example, a weld mapping schedule might be easier created by hand than using, let's say, the bill of materials, which you can find on how to do that. Again, another video we have in the library on how to do that, but this might be a more straightforward way for some. We'll need to adjust the scale here. I found that you may have to fiddle with this a little bit, but in this case it's a lot lower than the DIMSCALE. So we'll use a 10 in this example. And then let's go ahead and run the mleader command again. Now you see it's asking for a tag number instead of text. So let's put number 1 in there. And that puts in the bubble. Again, you'll have to play with the scale on that, but that's a great way to just manually note your drawing up and then maybe create a schedule over here. I'm going to save that for another video, but there is a way to manually create schedules in ABCAD, and I might just do that in the next couple days. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.